The summer campaign returns, and we are back inside, welcoming Will and
Hello,
Lisa.
Jack.
Hello, Jack.
Hello. We are inside because the British summertime has hit us. We couldn't guarantee it was going to rain, so we've come inside.
Rain.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to rain, and it's beautiful sunshine. So we've expected the worst and got the best. Thank you, weather. Thank you for joining us for another week. This week we are going to talk about how the community have really stepped up in helping people and wanting to help people. So we thought we'd just go over how to keep yourself safe and what are the best ways to help people on the streets, because sometimes people are so keen to help. It might actually offer some sort of offering for homeless people that might actually make their lives a little bit more difficult.
Yes.
For example, if you're offering food to give finger food to people who are on the street, they can only have as much as in their hands, and they might want to eat some more. So taking some Tupperware with you, or some plates, paper plates. You know, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So
complicated, doesn't it?
Better ways of not better ways of doing it, more helpful ways of doing it. I'm really out of breath for some reason. I've just moved a massive chair, so we'll at least talk for a moment while I get my breath back.
Part of this thinking really was the Everyone Knows a Jane, which is part of this legacy that we want to put out there, following
which
Jane
seems
Simpson's.
to be already taking hold.
Yes. So that's really where this sprang from. So we were just sitting here because we often get phone calls from people saying they want to rush off down the street with a load of sandwiches, and we have to remind them that that actually is quite dangerous.
As my son found out on Sunday when he went to try and help somebody who he thought had fallen over and was actually inebriated, and this particular person was not in a good state. He offered to help, and all he got was a mouthful of abuse.
And that was outside his home.
That was outside where he lives.
So one of the things we were talking to some of the student friends who are working with from NCS this week is that you might not always get a positive response. Let's put it that way. Because if somebody is inebriated and they've had a bad day, then they're going to give it to you with both barrels. It doesn't mean they mean it. No. But you just happen to be there in the firing line. So you just have to be very careful.
Like your computer, when it doesn't work.
If you're gifting your time, then that is the gift you're giving. And just be careful of how you react to perhaps somebody isn't as generous as you are being by offering them help. That's not to say that a lot of people are very, very happy to, take your sandwich or the coffee or advice.
And there are so many stories we hear when people come up to us and say, look, I'm giving you this, and I just happen to be passing somebody and bought them a McDonald's or all sorts, and that kind of thing is great. And that's usually people in a pair. People go down in pairs, which we always say, please keep yourself safe. If you're going to help somebody, do it in a public environment. Because the difficulty is we're helping people whose lives are really, really difficult. They might be really struggling with anything, and the opportunity sometimes could be there to better their life in that moment, and that might be at the detriment to somebody who's trying to help. But that doesn't mean to say don't help anyone.
One of the things we're saying as well is get a bit more informed about what the service is out there, because we often talk about, in fact in the mailer this week we've got StreetLink in there, which we talked about last week. You can get that on your smartphone.
And other cafes, like if it's a Tuesday night, come on down to Cafe 43 on a Wednesday. If it's a Wednesday night, come on down on a Thursday. That kind of thing. If you find out where your local cafes are, that will help people like that. There's one at Blazing Brook. There's where's
Holmcroft Signpost Centre on
Highfields.
So yes, I do really think people should invest time and get a knowledge that they can be both practical in terms of giving somebody a sandwich or a coffee, but can also offer informed advice. Because you might see them at a time when we're not going to pick them up, or you might just be in that moment. So it would be worth understanding. Come and make contact with us if you're not sure about what this process is or how things work. Get a bit of an understanding so you can have a more meaningful conversation with somebody than just simply perhaps, at the very least, walking on by, and if not, then engaging. But be informed about it.
And sometimes something that's helpful to us might not be helpful to somebody who is homeless. So for example, this is a silly example, but it has happened in the past. Somebody who gave somebody a huge, big, like, reclining chair.
Oh gosh, yes.
And that was very comfortable for that homeless person, but then it got them into trouble because they were doing that on somebody else's property.
Can I just emphasise that giving money's
the clear one.
is really, it seems like the easiest choice, doesn't it? Here's a couple of quid. If you have an addiction for drugs or alcohol
or gambling,
for that matter, that money is going to go straight towards that drug or alcohol, or down to the betting shop. And I think it is so easy if you're walking past to just respond with money, isn't it? But actually that is possibly the worst thing. And I'm not putting this on anybody's conscience, but just bear in mind that your £1 or £5 is going towards the cost of the purchase of that alcohol. So your one little pound or 50p is an accumulation. So you might be the person that actually breaks the camel's back in terms of getting the money, and that's the last thing that anybody wants to happen. So just bear that in mind. Don't think about money as the first option. It is very easy.
It's great that we're having to have this conversation and giving people advice on how to help, because so many people are wanting to get involved. Right. As the sun comes out and warms Lisa's feet, we shall draw an end to this week's summer campaign. Just a quick note to say, Jane's funeral, just to let everybody know, the whole community is welcome. We've spoken about it a lot before. Please do come down on the 9th of August to Stafford Crematorium at 2 p.m.
If you want to make a contribution towards the cost of what it is going to be to administer that,
there'll be a link in the description.
There'll be a link. People already responded with that. Thank you, particularly Rose, who dropped in a donation today. That's really, really kind.
Thank you very much, Will and Lisa.
Jack. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you very much for watching at home. Don't forget to check out Hob News over on YouTube or back here on Facebook on Sundays at 4 o'clock now. It's 2 weeks in a row I've remembered to do that.
Right, brilliant.
It's now a thing, I hope. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.